at the helm of affairs. Like I said, I was able to bring in colleagues, people who are very much more, into youth work for some time. We know each other. We recognize each other. So what we normally do is that whenever we supposed to undertake an activity that is at a national level, we have these structures that we have in each of these regions. We have the union mobilizers who are, at the head of, the youths in each of these regions. So what we normally do is we give them the information that this is exactly what we intend to do, and your responsibility is to do this, this, and that. They also will call up their constituency youth mobilizers, who also will disseminate the information to their subordinates, that is the ward mobilizers. So you can see, at the end of the day, what you will be having is that all the youth groups that are affiliated, to the party, all the structures that are within the youth structure will be duly informed of any other activity that we intend to do. So basically, this is how we do it. We don't play with information. Probably, whatever program or activity that we intend to do, or any information that comes from the top, that we should go ahead and do anything, that's how we normally do. They are contacted from the immediate moment, and then they are told of, what they're supposed to do, and they carry out the information.
How is the youth wing of the APRC funded?
Well, basically, the youth wing of the APRC is basically funded through support from philanthropic individuals. There are many people who have come out to align themselves, with what the party is doing, or basically what the youth of the APRC is doing. So we normally rely on some of those individuals whenever there are activities or there are programs that we needed their support. Also, there are institutions that supports, our activities. We write to them, and they deem it fit and necessary to support the young people of this country, because giving them, their support, is like, you are trying to put them in the right direction. Most of the time, our activities are geared towards complement the efforts of the president, the government. It's geared towards the socio-economic development of this country, creating awareness among the young people, trying to shape them, making them, more productive. So once some of those things, reaches you, you will realize that definitely this, activity needed support, and in so doing, they normally support. We normally have support also from the party itself, from the leadership, from the party leader and the chairman, who is His Excellency the President, Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh.
The Wolof fathers saying, "Ndimbal na fa fekk loxo borom." Do you have your own projects, your own self-oriented projects that bring in money to the organization, to the youth wing, like communal farms here and there?
Well, actually, as we speak, we don't have any other project that is out there in which, probably we may use to tap funds to implement some of our programs. But we're working on that. This is why not so long ago we embarked on a nationwide tour. This is simply to, engage the young people, to make sure that, they go back to the land. They adhere to the president's call, one, to create employment, two, to generate income, as you rightly put it. But probably in the rural areas, we have, communal farms, that is owned by the youths, in which, some of the proceeds are being used, to fund some of their programs, some of their projects that they are having out there. It's happening, but here, probably in the urban area, it's not something that is happening right now. But we are working, to make sure that, some of those things are put in place, to empower some of the youth organizations that are very much, interested in working, support them, and then probably see them stand on their feet so that they will be able to support themselves.
Still on the president's vision, I mean, the president, I'm sure, over a period of time I have interviewed the president, and one of the areas I always bring forward in my interview with the president is that the Gambian economy seems to shift away from the Gambians themselves. Let's take, for example, the fishing industry. Look at the jetty in Bakau. Look at that, was meant to be an income-generating project for the people of Bakau. But when you go to the jetty right now, I think it's rusty. It might collapse any minute from now if they don't do something else. Are you thinking of getting youths of this country into projects like fishing and farming and other things, skills, projects where youths can actually come in and do some work and some money?
Yeah, exactly, Malik. We're working on that. Like I said, not so long ago, we went on a nationwide tour. And during that tour also, we were able to talk to the youths that they should at least, be able to respond to some of those challenges. Because it is quite evident that even if you look at the fishing sector being said all the time by the president, you will realize that it is dominated by foreigners. Probably, let's take for example, if you go to Sanyang, fish landing site, you will realize that, you will find out, that you have almost about 268 boats that goes out for fishing. Only 10 belongs to Gambians. That's serious.
A very sad situation.
You go to Burfoot, you have almost about 250. Only 7 are owned by Gambians. The rest, foreigners. So it's like we are allowing foreigners to dominate or to take control of part of our economy, which is not good for the country. So in so doing, this is why, we've been advocating, we've been, working with youths, we've been, trying to engage them to make sure that, they go into this area. We've got our statistics, and the statistics is not very fine if you look at it, Most of the time, you will realize that we've also find out that there are Gambians who are engaged in fishing. But most of the time, the boats that they use to go out for fishing are owned by foreigners. So that means you cannot have control over anything.
Not at all.
Because you are being controlled, you don't own the boat. But what they are telling us is that if they are being facilitated, with boats, the trend will change. The trend will change. That means you will begin to have many Gambians who will go into fishing, and then their catches, when sold, will make benefit for their families, and then will change the trend. So that's exactly what we are advocating right now, and we are making a headway. Because as we speak, many of them, are coming up, to show their interest, that, the only thing that is lacking is, the materials, like boats, nets, and so forth. But already, as you know, His Excellency the President, not so long ago, has pledged a lot of money, for youths to prepare themselves, and they'll be supported so that they will go into farming, and fishing as well.
Let me take you to membership. How do you get your members into the APRC Youth Wing? Is there anything like a membership fee, which would have earned you some money anyway? Because if you want to become a member of the party, let's say you you register for $25 or $50, you gotta have an identification card or registration card or a membership card. And let's say if I want to be a member, I pay $50. I have a membership card. That $50 goes into a coffer somewhere. I'm sure with the 69% of the population, if everybody pays $50, that's some source of income for the youth wing.
Exactly.
Is that being given a thought?
Well, actually, when it comes to the issue of membership itself, we are trying to work on that to see how best we can come up with our own data that will tell us exactly how many young people, eligible voters, young people for that matter, who are in support of the party and the president as well. We're working on that. We're trying to establish that. In fact, as we speak right now, we're preparing to go to Kanilai next weekend, this Friday coming. So we're also using that as a basis, probably to collect, data from some of these youths that will be going to Kanilai. But we'll be making sure that we'll work on this on a wider wider scope, wider basis, to make sure that we collect our data throughout the whole country to know exactly, in order also to prepare our minds and ourselves, for the forthcoming elections that are coming, although it's a bit far. But the issue of, asking for a membership fee is something that we are a bit, skeptical, because for the simple fact, money, sometimes when it comes into play, it creates a lot of problem or divisions, especially, young people, their mentality.
But they will know this belongs to them. I mean, this is your fund.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is the
exactly.
APRC Youth Wing Fund.